friends, and welcome to another video lesson from DBOS Talks. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified of new uploads. This video is in the playlist called Serious Fun with SQL, and here we'll be learning how to quickly back up a table in Oracle, or how to quickly create a backup of a table. So the first thing I'll be showing you is not necessarily creating a backup, but creating a duplicate table which is empty. Okay, so there are use cases wherein we will have this kind of requirement at the workplace. Okay, so in SQL, our condition is being evaluated based on Boolean, meaning it's either true or false. Okay. So when you see a work condition, a work clause in a select statement, select asterisk from some table, and then you have a where clause, where condition. Whatever is the condition in here is being evaluated according to a Boolean type, meaning it's either true or false. The SQL engine is testing whether that where condition is true or false. Okay, so in this first example, I'm gonna show you how to create a duplicate table which is empty. And like I said, at the workplace, there will be use cases, real live cases, real good reasons to create such an empty duplicate table. And to do that, we will use the condition 1 is equal to 0, which is an obvious inequality. It's an inequality, so it will evaluate to false. Okay, let me just show you what I mean. First, let's check the table we'll be working on. So we'll be working on the table called customer. Okay, I'll execute it, and let's take a look at the contents of that table. So it's a simple table consisting of 5 columns, 1, 2, 3, and then it only has 4 records, rows of data. That's customer table. And I will show you how to create a duplicate table of this, which is empty. Duplicate meaning a table which has the same, it will have the same table name, different table name, but the same table structure. Table structure, I mean, if in SQL, if you've seen my other videos, there's a command in Oracle which is called describe or desk. In SQL Developer, which is the one we're using, the GUI tool, the IDE tool of Oracle, you can also check out the table structure by doing a Shift F4 while your cursor is at the table name. Shift F4. Okay, it shows you the table structure. So what I mean is, when you create a duplicate table, it will create another table with a different table name, but having the same table structure as this. Okay. So we've seen the content of the table called customer. Now let's create a duplicate table which is empty. So this is the syntax for creating a table which is empty. Okay, so we have the typical syntax create table, which is the typical syntax in Oracle as well as in other SQL flavors. But here we're more focused on Oracle. So create table, and then followed by the table name you wanted to give it. Okay, I will just give it an obvious name, customer underscore empty, to make it obvious to you that it's an empty table. So create table, table name as, and then here's the select statement. Select asterisk meaning pull or query all the rows of data. All the columns from this table, customer, where 1 equals 0. Like I said, the where clause in SQL is being evaluated according to Boolean. It's either true or false. The SQL engine will test this condition, the where condition, whether it's true or false. Since it's an inequality, 1 is not equal to 0 actually, although I'm saying 1 equals 0. So it will be tested, is this true or not? It's a false. So what will happen is, the effect on this is that Oracle will create this table called customer empty, but because of this false condition here, it will just create an empty table having the same table structure as customer table. Okay, so I will execute this. I will execute this create statement. Okay, it says table customer empty created. And what we can do is we can check it out by putting our cursor at the table name customer empty and then doing a shift F4, or you can do a describe if you're using SQL Plus, or even it also works here in SQL Developer. Okay, shift F4, I'll do that. It gives me the table structure of the table called customer empty. And as if you will remember, it is actually the same structure as the customer table itself, simply because I created a duplicate table which is empty. And to show you that it's empty, I'll just do this select asterisk from select asterisk from customer empty. Okay, select asterisk from customer empty. So I want to check out the contents of the newly created table, which I created using a where condition of 1 = 0, which is an inequality, which evaluates to false. So, okay, so it created an empty table called customer empty. Okay, so that's the first thing. And then the next is the one we're really after. If you were looking for this topic in YouTube, then this is it. How to quickly create a backup table, or how to create a backup for an Oracle table. Okay. So again, let's take a look at the contents of the table we're interested in. So these are the contents of the table called customer, and the intent is to create a backup table of this table. Okay, so in at the workplace, in the IT world, this is a real requirement. It comes. There are more sophisticated ways of creating a backup. Oracle has it. You have export, you have data pump, all those kinds of, as well as automated ones. But this is the simplest, readily available technique in creating a backup, which is very much available to a developer. Of course, depending on your permissions, on your privileges as a user, as a database user. But normally, this kind of privilege is available. Okay, so let me get the syntax. Let's command. Okay, so typical create table statement, create table followed by the table name. This time I'm using the name customer_back, making it obvious that this is a backup table, and which is not empty. As select asterisk from customer. So what is happening here is that Oracle will query the contents of customer table, all the columns. And since there's no where condition, it's also querying or pulling all the rows, okay, from customer table. And then once that bulk of data, that data set has been pulled or prepared, then Oracle will create a table called customer back, and the data which has been taken from customer table will be used to populate this backup table. Okay, so it's a very quick. Again, some disclaimer here. When I say quick, this is really quick because in one statement, one short statement, you'll be able to create a backup. But the disclaimer is that if you have a very big table, then there is no magic bullet. There's no silver bullet there. If you have a very big table, meaning a table with millions of rows, then obviously it will take some time to create a backup for that table. That is very obvious. But with a normal sized table, I mean, normal number of rows, not running into millions, then you can quickly create. This is the quickest way of creating a backup. Okay. So create table, table name as select asterisk from customer. This customer is the table we're taking the data from, and this customer back is the new table we're creating. Okay, let's go. Okay, so it says table customer back created. So it created the backup table called customer back. Now let me check out the table structure. So I'll put my cursor on the table name of the backup table, and then I will just do a shift F4 if you're an SQL developer. If you are on SQL Plus, you can just do a desk, short for describe, and then the table name. Okay, so again, if you recall, it has the same structure as the customer table itself, obviously because it's a backup table. So in creating a backup, two things are being done. One is that the table structure is being replicated. A duplicate table has been created with the same table structure as the original one. And the second thing that's happening is that it is getting populated. I mean, the data is also being replicated. Okay, so if we do a select asterisk, let me erase the logs here with this eraser. Then I will just check out the contents of the table. Okay, just to see for comparison, let me get this out. Check the contents of customer. It's like this. And then now let's check the content of customer back. Okay, so it's exactly the same thing, right? Because we have created a backup, a duplicate of the table customer. So again, this is probably the quickest way to create a backup of a table. The only thing is, as long as you have a normal sized table, meaning if you have a table with millions of rows, then it is just natural and expected for the processing, for the creation of the backup to take some time. Okay, so we've learned two things here, although the topic is more on centered or focused on creating backup for a table in Oracle. But at the beginning of the video, I also discussed, I showed you how to create a duplicate table which is empty. And I'm telling you, there is a real need for that sometimes. You want the structure of the table, but not necessarily the data in it, because you wanted to use it for some kind of testing, maybe prototyping, proof of concept, development, SIT, UAT, such and such. Okay. Okay, so thank you for watching and listening. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and spread the word. And I will be seeing you in the next video.